here's the top 10 fucking Spider-Man and Elsa videos where they're gonna kiss, prank, and they get 20 million, and it's just like the most garbage shit.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the podcast, the show dedicated to talking about all the Pogcast things in life, like PC content creation and video games. I'm one of your co-hosts, JesseKazam.
And I'm Veronica Sauce. Yeah, I couldn't. You caught me off guard. There. I got nothing.
What's up, man?
How you been?
I've been good, busy, normal stuff. How's No Man's Sky been? Were you doing a permadeath run earlier? I thought I saw that in your stream title.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing the last couple of days. So there's one of the coolest things about No Man's Sky is when you create a game, there's like creative mode, which is just like chill, nothing will hurt you. I don't even think you have like damage. There's no survival aspects. It's just like fly around, explore. You can build, craft, whatever. And then there's like the normal mode, and then there's like survival mode, where it's like resources are scarce. You take more damage. Your stack limits of all your items in your inventory is smaller.
Oh, interesting.
You make less money from like everything is just harder. And then there's also custom, and you can go through and literally tweak.
What?
Like, I want abundant defensive enemies, but aggressive animals. But I want like abundant resources, lower stack limits, but infinite teleportation of items between me and my ship, like distance wise. And I want to be able to craft and build like my base and my hideout, my base like infinitely without having to spend resources. But at the same time, I want to have fuel for my ship.
That's insane.
There's like 50 options with like multiple things. And then one of the things is permadeath. And the permadeath mode is when you die, the game puts you back to the main menu and deletes your save file. So you can't like save scum. It's literally like game over.
That's so epic.
Yeah, so I got pretty decently far into like my main playthrough, and I'm like, I'm gonna mix it up a little bit. Just decided I wanted to give like a more challenging run a try. So I did that, and then at one point, like I had never. You have like shields. But then you also have like toxic protection, heat protection, cold protection, and then there's your like exosuit, health. What the fuck is it called? Life support.
Yeah,
I've had life support low a million times.
Yeah.
Never had it run out in this particular point in time after maybe 8 hours of playing. Life support, like I was in the middle of combat. When I a little over my head, like underpowered, in the middle of like a fucking storm, so I couldn't see anything far away from my ship, and it was like life support ran out, and all of a sudden it's just like your health goes 75%, 50%. I'm like, like getting my ship. I'm like, what's going on? So I just died. It was like, wow, that came out of nowhere.
Life support. Okay, we'll put that one in. Make a mental note. That's crazy.
I always just equated it with the shields.
Yeah.
Like you won't regenerate health, but like you won't. But I think it's like your oxygen. Like if you're in a spacesuit, you run out of air, like that.
So I wonder if like I imagine on like the subreddit and stuff like that, are there like challenge runs where it's like this is a popular run, like put these settings, because I had no idea how custom it could be. So I bet somewhere there's like, try this for a good, hardcore, pretty balanced experience that's permadeath and whatever.
I think like the easiest would be go to custom and start with the survival preset, which is like the hardest, and then turn on permadeath. And then there's also something that says lock settings, so you can't. The game won't let you change them afterwards. But that's the other cool. That's the other cool part is that you can actually change it. As long as you don't do while you're playing. So like in my main playthrough, I played just the normal mode throughout everything until I wanted to do base building. And I'm like, I don't want to have to like go farm a bunch of carbon to make wood to then place like 5 boards. So I just made everything free. And then I could craft everything and make my hideout like, you know, my base like I wanted to, and then turn back on the costs of everything. And that was really great. But I feel like that would be the easiest. Where it's like,
that
I
is
made it
crazy.
So yeah, so I did the first run and then died pretty quickly. And then I did another run, which is the one I started this morning. And so I think we talked last week. Did I tell you that like me and One Peg both got stream sniped?
Yeah.
So there's network settings. So you can, and the crazy part is all these different settings, they work, and mods, they work online in multiplayer. So I could be doing a hardcore permadeath mode run with 27 mods, playing side by side with my friend.
How does that even work?
Vanilla. It's just you see everything that's relevant is the same. You'd see the same ditch, except you might see gold there, and I would see nothing, and my shields would be, you know. So for the most part, it's just amazing, like technologically how that works.
Yeah.
But so there's the network settings, so you can say I want multiplayer on or off. But then you can also say like people can see my icon, they can't see my icon in my ship or on foot.
Gotcha.
And then you can also say PvP on with friends only or everyone. And when you create a new game, those settings are different. Like there's a set default every time.
Gotcha.
So even though I turned PvP off in my previous playthrough,
you created a new.
So I played a bunch yesterday, and then I continued today, and it was like I had just farmed like a bunch of ships and did the whole annoying like I made like 150 million units. I sold a bunch of ships. I spent literally 45 minutes moving all my modules around in my ship, and it was like set up just right. Fly out of the space station, and I get blown up. And then I have to go back into the fucking clip, and I see the fucking guy's name. So he stream sniped me again, and
what an idiot.
He just sat there outside of the space station for presumably 45 minutes waiting for me to fly out, and then within 20 minutes had it posted on Instagram. Not that anybody fucking sees the Instagram or anybody follows this clown, but you know, and then he tries to
idiot.
It's just what a complete and utter fucking clown. Like so then it was like, oh. But you know what the cool part is? It really does remind me of early wipe Tarkov, where it's actually fun. Even after 12 hours of grinding and the game has just started, it's like there's something fun about starting with the broken scanner and going just getting the first ship and surviving. And so it's been actually fun. I might actually I could potentially see doing runs where it's like I do everything and then make my way to the center of the galaxy, and that's like the end that run.
Almost like DayZ lives, where like you try and last as long. It might be a week that you last on this run, and then you die, and you're like, oh, that was fun, and then you hop back in. You know what I mean? Like that's how like Smoke and Does It and all those guys.
So what I might do actually is I might find a home planet in the. I won't spoil anything, but I might find a home planet for after I reach the center of the galaxy, and set up a base there, and see how many of my dudes can like park their shit there.
That's funny.
You know, so because I'm pretty sure you can see other people's ships and stuff parked. It'd be super cool if it was like
these are all the runs that made it.
Yeah. Actually,
in your garage.
Because that's the thing is that it's really annoying when you go into screenshot mode. In the lower left-hand corner, there's a bunch of like hieroglyphic icons.
Yeah.
And that's like your address.
Oh,
for, like,
yeah.
I don't know if it's the system or the planet. But I remember when No Man's Sky first came out, there were these giant portal gates, but they did nothing.
They didn't do anything. Yep.
I spent.
So did I.
Probably 10 hours, like rolling You know how on the
Yep.
ancient ruins there's those big like giant stone balls?
Yep.
I like rolled something like 2 miles to try to like roll it through
Yep.
and they didn't implement it. They did nothing. Nothing. They
Yep.
didn't do
Whatever they
anything.
were originally supposed to do, they just didn't implement.
They had well, yeah, they came out like 3 years later.
Yep.
But what they are is they're basically portals, stargates
Yeah.
where there's all these hieroglyphic icons that,
and
there's
you
like
can match it
16
up.
characters. Yeah, so basically it's just a password.
Yep.
So, but when you go into screenshot mode, it always shows in the lower left-hand corner your address.
Oh.
So that must have been at one point I went into screenshot mode, didn't hide it and didn't think twice about it.
Gotcha.
So but that also allows me to have a base, that like before I died actually on that run this morning or last night, I found a planet, a super rare planet. It looks exactly like Earth.
Really?
And it's a paradise class planet with green grass, blue oceans. Like there's so many like purple grass, orange ocean.
Yeah.
But it's a paradise planet with beautiful weather. So there's no rain, there's no
Or like
storms,
toxicity, or yeah.
And the temperatures, like 30 degrees Celsius. Yeah, so and I was like, all right, I'm going to set up a base here. And then it was like after I saved on that, in that area, and then shortly after died. But luckily I took a picture with my phone of the thing because I'm like, just in case. So I'll be able to go back there with my new guy and set up shop.
Epic. That's so sick, dude. That's so sick. Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, and there's updates coming out. So I think hopefully soon.
More.
Yeah, there's still shit coming out.
And dude, they have supported the hell out of this game. Holy cow. Because it was like, when did it come out? It's been like 8 years or something, right?
7 years.
7 years?
Yeah.
That's so sick. That's so dope, man.
So that's been just a nice change of pace. Although, I think Diablo 4 tomorrow.
Yeah, the beta,
the beta is tomorrow. So it's like, and then the Zelda, the
Tears of the
Kingdom, came out or is coming out tomorrow. I think, but people in like fucking Australia or whatever can play it now. And now I went from like there being nothing to play to now all of a sudden I have these like 3 games that I want to play, but like, and you have like the FOMO.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I want to play on the fucking, like, I want to play on day one, but at the same time, it's like, I'm really enjoying No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
I want to milk this enjoyment for as long as I can because I know at some point I'm going to be over it.
Yeah.
And then I have 2 more games lined up that I can milk it for as long. Because if I context switch away from No Man's Sky now,
it can be
hard
get into Diablo,
to get back in. I might not get back into it, and then I'm going to be like, well, now I don't want to really play No Man's Sky anymore, and now Diablo beta is over, so it's like, oh, am I going to try Tarkov? And I know that's just a poison chalice.
Yeah,
fucking
especially since Diablo is a beta, so you're probably just going to play it for a few days and then be sad it's over. So skipping that's not a huge deal. And then Tears of the Kingdom, like those games are pretty evergreen in the sense that like, there's a lot of like exploration, a lot of figuring out at the beginning, but like, you could hop into, what was the other one? Breath of the Wild right now and have a blast.
Yeah, and who am I kidding? Like, it's not like I'm relevant enough in the space where a game like the new Zelda, it's not like I'm going to be, like it's
a
gonna
world
be XQC,
first.
XQC and like fucking all the giant guys with 30, 40, 50,000 viewers are going to be playing it, and that's who people are going to be watching. If it was a Tarkov wipe, that would be a little bit more pressure.
Yeah.
But like,
for sure.
No, I'm going to have 120 viewers playing fucking Zelda tomorrow versus 95 a week from now or 6 months from now.
100%.
It doesn't really matter. I'm just gonna keep going with No Man's Sky. I have a video essay that I'm thinking about making because I have a hot take that I don't think is a hot take, but I don't think anybody's just thought about it, and there hasn't been anybody that's really made any content about it. No Man's Sky is a cosmic horror game. It's cosmic horror through and through, dude. The story.
Oh, like the lore?
There's like the story, and then there's like the lore, and then
Yeah.
there's the lore. There was an
Interesting.
ARG.
Really?
Bro. Do you want to know? Let me ask you this. Do you want to know? And this is like, I don't know that it's spoilers. I don't think it's spoilers, but it's like deep lore where
Yeah.
if you were to play the game and you're not going to like read the manga, you know, like you're not going to go real deep.
Yeah.
This won't spoil anything. Because you'll play through the main storyline and you won't be going this deep down the iceberg.
Yeah.
So you have a warning now that maybe fast forward like a minute in the future. Do you want to know where No Man's Sky takes place?
Where?
Earth.
Is it like a simulation? Whoa! What do you mean? Where does it take place? You know what that made me think of? Okay, do you remember the? Do you remember in Men in Black, where like the dog had the collar with the little keychain on it, and the camera zoomed into it, and
it's
it
like
was a galaxy inside, and it kept zooming in to like there was planets and worlds and people and civilizations all in this thing, and it just like keeps going. Or the cat, it was the cat, whatever.
Yeah, and you know, you and I,
Yeah,
we're the dog.
Yeah.
We are almost characters in this story. It's a very, very meta,
interesting
story, but it goes fucking deep. It's crazy how like the number of times I played it, and you know, like very early on, you're standing in front of like a giant fucking talking, not really talking, but like pyramid orb fucking thing, and you're like, what the fuck is this? Is this God? Is this nothing? Is it, what is this thing? And there's a lot of deep, dark shit that's talked about that's never really explained directly. But then in a bunch of the subsequent updates and a lot of you click through the computer messages and it's like the same thing, like Captain's Log, whatever. You're like, blah, 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 blah. And you don't realize like, oh, when you go to the Sentinel pillar and you log in with the credentials, why is the password Ariadne? Isn't that the character in the... Oh, what the fuck? Oh, shit. And you start to really go deep into it.
That would be a great video. Like, that's... Yeah, so like, you know, No Man's Sky is cosmic horror and nobody's talking about it. Or something like that. And then like a really compelling thumbnail. Like, I'd click the hell out of that video. Like...
Bro, I've been... Oh, and... The game is, I would go so far as to say the most beautiful game I've ever played in my life.
Oh yeah, it's up there. I mean, it was even 7 years ago.
The number of times I've gone and like sat in front of one of those ancient ruins, where it's just an orb that's glowing, and there's just like these like motes of dust floating around, and I go full screen, I turn off the HUD, and I just hit record, and I sit there, and you see the grass going, and you see like like two fucking spaceships go flying off, and then all of a sudden whoosh, a giant worm like dune size comes out of the ground in the background. It's like, well, that's the fucking B-roll for me talking about this. I have like 20 minutes of me just sitting in front of these different places, just like this unbelievably beautiful fucking tableau.
That's so sick.
With like Saturn rings taking up the skyline. So I'm like, oh god, it's one of those games that for a content creator doing a video essay, when you do Tarkov, it's you're running around looting containers,
shooting more three-mans, like
and it's just like, it just seems like filler talk over.
So for sure.
Whereas this is like, I can be talking about shit and it's relevant while also being interesting and beautiful. And
dude, that would be dope. You should do it, because that'd be sick. Because it's that seems like a good like balance between like, it's a game people still really love. It's a game that like the sentiment of the game now is that it's almost like an underdog. It's like, it had this stigma, but now like it's one of those things where it's like people want to champion it, people are like looking for an excuse to be like, yes, this game is good now. And then for you to bring something new to the table in a kind of clickbait, not clickbaity, but in a real sticky way where it's like,
yeah.
you can make an assertion about the game like nobody's talking about it, but this is like, and then provide some new information. Like I feel like that would do well.
I mean, I'm mentally preparing to get 3,000 views and have
Of course, yes,
and have it be a masterpiece. And now you know how I have my second channel, the Satire V
Yeah.
channel, where I was doing video essays on like chess,
Yeah.
and speed running. I'm like, now I'm wondering if I should pivot and kind of switcheroo. And on the Veritas channel, I do only like longer ish form.
Yeah.
15-minute to an hour kind of video essay.
Yeah.
Even like the getting Tarkov series. And then on the Satire V channel, I do highlights.
Yeah.
And, like less serious.
Yeah.
Shit. Because I feel like that would, right now I'm cultivating, it's like Tarkov on one side and then like the people that want to see more stuff from me.
Yeah.
That is anything else. And really it seems like two different audiences.
For sure.
In more so than it's like, I want to be like me and my quality work on one and benefit from having 100-something thousand, 200,000 subscribers. Because that's only going to help.
Yep.
And then, take the hit that I'm going to take to subscribers, because when I put a video essay and I see -2 subs, that's probably like 100 people who were Tarkov people unsubbed, and then 100 new people were like, this guy makes good shit.
Yep.
And I never thought about it that way.
For sure. I think it really just comes down to like your intention. You know what I mean? Like if you planned on championing Tarkov content for the foreseeable future, then maybe the way you have it set up works and you kind of do this as the other way. But if you feel like over the next 5 years, you want to make some Tarkov content, but most of the content you want to make is this, whether it's a long form video about Tarkov or about something else. And this just wants to be the new evolution of like proper main channel Veritas content, then I don't think it's just almost like an understanding. Like you said, knowing that you post this video, even if it's successful, you might lose 300 subs, gain 350 subs, and it doesn't look like the video performs that well, just like understanding it. But I don't think that's I think
because like let's say I make a couple of video essays that actually do blow up, right?
Yeah.
One of them gets 1 million views or something. Then the last thing I want to do is go publish 5-8 minute
highlights.
Videos. Like that's gonna then hurt that.
Yeah.
So it's almost like I really want to be like the H Bomber guy channel where it's like disparate, random, good quality shit.
And it might take a while to cultivate that among the people that have subscribed, but I think that's a very attainable goal, right? Like YouTube is the place to do that, right? You have those people that succeed in that. Yeah. I've toyed with making second channels before. I've been trying to like, everything I'm doing is still under the Tarkov banner, but like I've been trying to make more like long form, like content, like long form, more like narrative driven, story driven content. We did like I told you about, we did the Iron Man challenge.
Bro, I saw the video that you did. I'm trying to remember now.
Is it the ammo one? Don't waste money on ammo?
No, it was like it might have been the Iron Man challenge, but you had like this map overlay and you're like, this is where you spawned.
Which one was that?
You were telling a story. It felt like
like during the intro?
Well, I think there was multiple times. It felt like I almost said JFK again. JLK?
It felt like
a JFK.
Like a JFK video.
Is it JLK?
JLK, yeah.
It felt like one of those.
Yeah. Was it the one where we were running around with the RSH-12s and cowboy hats? Or was it the one where we were using the bad ammo? And we were...
Oh, it might have been the bad ammo one. Let me just double check.
I've changed the thumbnail of that one 1 million times, so you might not recognize the thumb. But stop wasting money on ammo is the one I did.
Yes. Tarkov. And bro, I have to say that right there is some of the best content I've seen.
Yes. Thank you.
From you. Like, I saw that and was like, my instant urge was to copy like half of that.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
do the Tarkov map overlay and whatever, and I'm like, I'm not going to. But it was just that good. I'm like, fuck.
Thank you.
Super impressed. Like, you should be proud as fuck about that.
Thank
dude.
you. That was so I've been working with a new editor, and I've been trying to create content that's more story driven. You know what I mean? Basically all that stuff we talked about, all the JLK, I've been watching a ton of Rust videos and trying to think through that lens. How can I bring that to Tarkov? You know, like Tarkov really lacks that, you know, what we said, DayZ and Rust, like you can create a story that lasts longer than 40 minutes, right? You can have a nemesis, you can have a rival, you can make a friend. You know, DayZ really thrives on this. Gibbon and Ash, they've been crushing like these TikToks that get like millions of views because they meet this guy and they go on this adventure and then they die and they spawn in at the beach and they run back to the place where they died, but Johnny isn't there anymore. And then they get a radio and they broadcast to this quadrant of the map and they find Johnny, and it's like, man, like you can't do that stuff in Tarkov. But I've been trying to think through like, okay, what stories can I tell? You know what I mean? What can we do? And so the bad ammo one was one where like, what was so cool about that? Did you watch the whole video?
No.
Okay. What was really cool about that is like,
I think I got like 32 minutes into it or something.
I was able to put some little bit of a redemption story in that because I ran into a guy and then I ran into him again later the same day, which
really?
happens very rarely in Tarkov, but I was able to like weave that into the story. And like I ran in, so he was talking trash over VoIP. Okay. And like, so I'm not a trash talker. I can't talk trash at all because I'm so scared that I'm going to talk trash and then die to the guy and be so embarrassed, you know? So I don't talk trash. I just like lean into it and like whatever. And he talked trash. And then I finally bait him into pulling the pin of a nade, and I push his nade and I swing the corner. He's got the nade in his hand, and I fat finger shift T, which is check the chamber.
I saw that.
Yeah. So I check the chamber of the gun and then he kills me. And then later in the day, I run into him again and I killed him. So I was able to weave in this like little redemption story into the Tarkov video. So I appreciate you saying that because that was like one of my favorite videos that I had made. And I'm super excited. We did the Iron Man challenge. I told you, me and Valiant, where like we made it to level 10. We made it like 13 raids in. And like we were killing juicers, we were questing. It was like an amazing experience. And we're like finishing up that video. That video is going to be like an hour and 40 minutes long. Like I'm so excited for it. I'm so excited for it. So I've been trying to do that, but it's like, it's hard because like, yeah, the algorithm is just so fickle. You know, it shows it to the people. If you watch my videos, you're used to 8-minute highlight videos. Like that's mostly what I post at this point because there's not a whole lot of like new player content to make in Tarkov right now. So it's like you see a 40-minute video and the algorithm's like, wait, what? And it shows it to these people and these people. But
is the whole like, I remember the 10-minute was used to be like a threshold.
Yeah.
Where it's like you can run multiple mid-roll ads. I thought it was at one point. Is it no longer 10?
It's 8 now. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So is that why the 8? Like ultimately, is that why
that's
the 8?
Ultimately like the 8-minute meme? Mine are anywhere between like 8 and 11 minutes. It's just kind of like, I also just feel like for highlight videos, that's just around the amount of time you want to spend on it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I don't want, I don't want like 15, 20-minute highlight videos. Retention is already hard enough to keep, you know what I mean, during those. So I find that the sweet spot. But yeah, it's 8 minutes now where you can run mid rolls.
Getting like your bang for your buck, right? Like if you have
exactly.
if you have 25 minutes, you could do a 12-minute highlight and a 13-minute highlight, or you can do an 8, an 8, and a 9.
Exactly.
And then now that's like, you know, if you do one every other day, that's basically a week's worth of fucking
exactly content.
As soon as I said that, all I thought about was the bodybuilding.com thread about about if you work out. Oh god, dude.
What was it? It's like Monday, Tuesday. It was like it was like, what does every other day mean is what they were arguing about or something.
The guy, this is a total sidetrack, but it's fucking hilarious. I almost ended up doing content related to this, and I still might in the future, but it's a legendary like thread from 2008 or something.
Bodybuilding.com.
On building.com forum. Where a dude came in and was like, did the whole, I don't want to overtrain. I want to
Yeah.
like, gain lean muscle. I'm worried about, injury or whatever. I want to work out every other day. Is that going to be too much? And someone was like, oh yeah, but if you work out like 3 days a week or whatever, that won't be too much. He goes, oh, no. Every other day is like 4 to 5 days a week.
Bro.
And people are like, how do you get 4 to 5? And then it's literally 10 pages of people fucking screaming back and forth at each other about like every other day is 3 days in 1 week and then 4 days on the next week. And
You
the guy's
obviously
like, no, here's
can't
the
read.
calendar.
This, yeah, dude.
Oh, dude, it's the best fucking shit post argument back and forth.
And there's something extra special about knowing that everyone typing those messages were like in super thin tank tops, hugely jacked, like at their computer, right? Like those weren't your typical
Gallon of milk.
Yeah, those weren't your typical like nerds you think of. Like, every one of those guys was like, their fingers are too big to type on the keyboard, and they're like, bro, every other week, every other day is this. And it's just like that makes me laugh about that situation.
You know what the best part was? I ended up finding I actually had from early college, undergrad, a bodybuilding.com account.
Yes.
And I found my profile.
Yes.
With like the picture of my like abs in like college. It was like, oh my God, as a part of this whole thing, which is just so fucking
P90X
cringe.
all day.
Oh God. Fucking hell, dude. Listen, I had 2 long-term girlfriends in college in my undergrad, one of which is my wife, but they were both volleyball players. The girls' volleyball team would practice all on the weekends, and they'd play beach volleyball during the summers. And I would help them practice, and I don't need to say anymore, okay?
He was a good-looking dude.
I had motivation to go to the gym.
To stay looking good. Hell yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, that was the longest fucking diatribe ever.
Anyways, but yeah, the 8 minutes is the thing, the thing now. But it's interesting because like I actually saw a post the other day, like long form content is always going to be king, because as much as like everyone preaches this like short form is the new meta, it is, but like websites will always prioritize media that keeps you on the website longer, right? So like there's a huge push on like TikTok right now. Like if your video is longer than 1 minute, if it's like 1 to 3 minutes, 1 to 4 minutes, the algorithm pushes it. So it's like long form, short form content. Like it's always going to result, like content will always end up resulting to longer form, because it keeps you on the platform longer, and the platform is always going to want to keep you on the platform longer. But I saw this interesting post about a YouTube channel's like your RPM, so like CPM and then RPM is actually what you take home.
Yeah.
The RPM of the same channel dependent on the view duration. And I didn't realize that like your RPM goes up. So if you post a longer video and that longer video keeps people watching longer, you actually end up with a higher RPM. So it's like, it's not only are you making more money on that video because more ads are being shown, but because it's a longer video and people are watching them, they'll pay more for those ads. So that's super interesting. I didn't realize that. So it's like, it always comes back to like long form being king. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's got to be true too for like even YouTube.
Yeah, well, and that's what I was saying. It was actually the RPM thing was for YouTube. Yeah, so like so video essays, long forms, narrative driven stuff. That's why those videos have a propensity to go viral, because when YouTube starts picking up on those cues, a lot of people are clicking on this video and a lot of people aren't clicking away quickly, right? Like it's got a good thumbnail and a good title that's enticing people to click, and they're watching. The algorithm goes, okay, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. So let me just do I want to compare 2 videos, and I'm just gonna fucking say the numbers because I don't care. Just be transparent. So one of my later highlight videos had 8,600 views.
8,600?
Yeah.
Okay.
plus 1 subscriber. Fuck yeah.
Huge.
It's a 13-minute video,
Okay.
and I made $26.
W.
So if you do 26 divided by 8,600, that's 0.003. So 3,000
RPM, basically.
Yeah, dollar per. Well, that's dollars per view.
Oh yeah, so that's RPV.
Yeah.
Revenue per view, not revenue for yeah.
So then if you look at the was it a better game, like the Tarkov going in the wrong
Oh
direction.
my god, yeah.
That is 554,000 views, so 500,000, and I made 2,600.
Damn.
So 554. Wait, no, sorry, 2,600 divided by 554,000. That's actually it's 0.004. Which I guess is 30% more.
Yeah. When you extrapolate that out, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. It's very, very interesting stuff.
Plus 4,400 subscribers.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but yeah, so it's interesting stuff. I'm trying to, I think what you're doing with that, like, makes a lot of sense if that's the type of content that you want to make. And then I've been trying to figure out how to make other types of content too. In Tarkov, I'm still shackled to the game, but I'm trying to create something unique. You know what I mean? I'm trying to create, and I'm looking to a lot of people. Junker and FairTX create some of the most unique stuff that's like highly animated. Swamp Fox and Tulu make some of the most unique stuff as far as like story driven and narration. And I'm trying to like, take inspiration. The biggest place I'm taking inspiration from is people from other games, DayZ, Rust, and stuff like that, and trying to be like, okay, how do I create an engaging and fun format in Tarkov? You know what I mean? With the limitations that are Tarkov. But it's been fun and interesting and something to do while we wait for the wipe,
Dude, yeah, you need to keep doing more of that shit, dude, and you'll be getting a fucking million subscribers. Like, that's good shit.
Oh yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm excited for this new one, but I'm excited. It's like I know so many people like cringe at hour and a half long video, but like I've fallen in love with it, dude. Like I love super long form video game content. You know what I mean? Like H-Bomber guys, he'll do 2 hours on why, Deus Ex is okay. A lot of these Rust videos are like hour long, hour and a half long. So like I love it.
Yeah, I wish we could be like the what's the word for like the complete outlier? Don't need to come up with a different word for it. Just like like H-Bomber guy is a complete outlier. Internet historian is a complete outlier.
Yeah.
Like you can't make one video every 6 months.
Yeah.
On completely disparate topics.
Yeah. And be successful. But they do.
And then also have with like H-Bomber guy. Actually, I forget. It's been a while since I've actually seen any of his stuff. But like I recall his titles were decent, but like his thumbnails were trash.
Thumbnails are not at all like meta.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, dude, there's some people that just break the molds, dude. It just works, and I don't think that there's a reason. I watched the 2-hour-long video on the Roblox oof.
So good. It was
so good.
And the thumbnail is it's the fucking
awful.
like Roblox face with like bald H-Bomber guy, which like half the people who are his viewers probably wouldn't even recognize him in the thumbnail, plus like a baby like cherub with wings in the corner with it's like such a meme.
Yep. And it works.
And 6.5
million views, brother.
And it's called Roblox_oof.mp3. Like it's the type of I want video names like that.
Yeah.
But it's like you have to.
Yeah.
You have to, dude. I had this like. It comes. This issue is common across everything: streaming, game selection, YouTube, content creation, whatever. There's two ways to do things.
Yeah.
If you do things the right way, like the true way, the good way, the best way, you'll get a ton of respect from a small amount of people who matter.
Yeah.
And you won't really get much appreciation. And if you do things the quote unquote right way, the meta way, where you have to kind of sell your soul a little bit, you'll have less respect,
but more success.
But you'll have less respect from, like, quote unquote, the people who matter in the minority, like the respectable humans, and then the masses, the unfettered, drooling masses, will absolutely fucking love you and eat it up, and they won't care about any of the things, right? It's like, oh god, it's so.
And then you have guys like H-Bomber Guy who do things the wrong way for the right reasons and have this respect of everybody, the masses and the people that matter.
Yep, and it's like,
but banking your career on that, you know what I mean, is like scary, because like the way that they do it has the least likelihood of success. But that means some people out there that do it that wrong way will succeed. And luckily, YouTube normally gives it to the people who really deserve it, the H-Bomber guys and the internet historians of the world, who, like, we would all agree, like, deserve the fame that they've gotten because they make amazing videos. But it's...
Yeah, but also think about all of the trash content that blows up.
I mean, for sure.
Yo, here's the top 10 fucking Spider-Man and Elsa videos where they're gonna kiss, prank gone sexual, and they get 20 million, and it's just like the most garbage shit. And they're getting 57 million views. Half of them are people going, what is this garbage shit? And they're sitting through 10 ads while they're like mauling at this trash content. And I have to think that, like, my case where I look at, like, my chess documentary, it was like, I think it was like right place, right time. And then what? Like, why does it only have like 1,200? Like, it's something that if you put it in front of the audience it's intended for, it should blow up. But YouTube just isn't serving it for whatever reason. It's not like.
I mean, I've had that same feeling so many times where, like, I just thought, I remember I did that Mr. Beast video, like, if Mr. Beast played Tarkov, I was convinced in my soul. I was like, that's the best title I've ever come up with. That's the best thumbnail I've ever paid for. It's the best video I had ever edited. I was like,
I remember when it came out, I was like, had a little bit of like jealousy where it's like, fuck, this is going to blow up.
I was like,
genius.
This is going to crush. And it has like 40,000 views, 50,000 views over 6 months. It performed like below average for like the 10 most recent videos at the time, and over the course it's gotten some extra views, and it's in like 50,000. And I was like, I just remember feeling like,
and if you just did I did 50 labs runs, how much money did I make? It would have gotten 20% more views for 97% less.
So it's like
effort.
I've definitely had that feeling where it's just like, dude, I don't know. Like, I just can't crack the code.
Those things can't be the exceptions. So when you say like the people who deserve it get served, like it, I have to assume that 98% of the people that deserve it don't get it. We never see them. Because they don't get served to us. And there's people like me and you who like put out this amazing content that we think should blow up and just doesn't, and nobody sees it. And that includes me and you. Right, like
it's bro. It's impossible and frustrating. You know what I mean? To try and like reverse engineer it, and then exactly like you said, ride the balance of like, okay, I have this cool idea. How hard do I go into like the meta of how I think this idea will blow up, or how hard do I go into just like exactly how I want to do it, not caring? because it's a very much so yin and yang. The more you lean into the meta, the more you feel like you're sacrificing the integrity of the idea. And the more you lean into the uniqueness of the idea, the less you feel like it's going to blow up because you're like, I'm not doing anything I'm supposed to do here. And riding that balance is like hard to do, and neither have a chance of success, right? Like sometimes you can like feel like you're riding the meta and being like, this is going to be perfect. This is such a 2023 video. This is going to crush. And then it doesn't. And you're left with like, I don't even know anymore. So
I feel like so many people end up like you can go full meta or full morals.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, and eventually what ends up happening is you end up getting honed down to somewhere in the middle of the road. And that's when people just burn out and give up.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it's like, I'm getting 15,000 views every 3 days on a video. Like, that's enough to make like a car payment on a new Honda and like, but like not pay a mortgage, not like, so yeah, I'm just not going to do that anymore, you know?
And the thing is that YouTube was really good at showing you the success you could have, right? You see
with the one random video that blows up.
You see the people who are like, you know, you see the people who are where you want to be. Like I like, you know, Blueprint, Willjum, these guys have been watching these Rust videos. I'm like, man, I don't feel like they're sacrificing their video ideas for the meta. Their thumbnails aren't meta. Their titles aren't meta. Like Blueprint, his videos are very like
never even heard of him.
BLOOPRINT. His video
Blueprint face reveal. Oh God,
his videos like 2 months ago, it's just called Rust Outplayed. There's no like, I built the craziest base in Rust, gone sexual. It's just like outplayed, 59 minutes, 2 million views. You know what I mean?
His thumbnails are dope.
His thumbnails are dope, but they're not good. Does that make sense? They're works of art, but if you don't know who Blueprint is and you don't know what a Blueprint video is, you don't know what that means. Like, you don't know what, like, if you don't play Rust, you don't know what those things are. You don't know what they mean. It doesn't clue you into the story. It's just like a really good, cool thumbnail.
Here's the thing, though. Millions of people play Rust.
No. And You know what's interesting?
I feel... What?
Tarkov has had a higher all-time player peak than Rust. And
that makes perfect sense.
And Rust averages, like, if we believe, we actually looked this up on the Steam charts. I don't know if Rust is crossplay or anything, but according to the Steam charts, Rust has like the same daily player base. Like back when Nikita said there was like 70,000 to 120,000, I took that as 70,000. And when we checked, Rust had like 50,000, and like their 1 week peak was like 120,000.
Huh.
So Rust is like, what Rust has is what Tarkov is beginning to have, where like so many people know about Rust because Rust has been around for forever, and like tens of millions of Rust accounts have been played. But not many people play Rust anymore relative to not many is very, 50,000 daily active users is a wildly successful game, right? And that's kind of how Tarkov is, where it's like there's millions and millions and millions of accounts, but not many people that play it. So, but I say that to say that like these videos crush 2 million views, 50,000 daily active viewers.
Here's my interpretation of that, though, is Rust in many ways is kind of similar to Minecraft, where I feel like there's a lot of potential consumers of the content.
Yeah.
I think the average age is lower than Tarkov.
Yes.
There's no way for me to like really justify or articulate what is a hunch to me.
Yeah.
But there's something about a Rust player that makes me think they'll fucking watch anything Rust. It doesn't matter who. It doesn't matter about what. If it's like a cool thing about Rust, they want to watch it. Just like Minecraft. Yeah. People are like, I want to see Minecraft shit.
Yeah.
When it comes to Tarkov, most Tarkov content is like the not just talking about like the top creators, but like the average. There's just so much kind of like meh stuff out there.
Yeah.
And I think that if it's like a 33-year-old dad,
Yeah.
he's not just going to watch some random thing, right? But if it's a 17-year-old kid,
Yeah.
he's going to watch the fucking Rust, the True Enemy video because it's got a cool thumbnail and it's about Rust. That means it must be fucking amazing. Whereas I just feel like Tarkov people are different and Tarkov is different.
I think that plays a part. I don't think it plays as big of a part as you would think. I would challenge you, literally, go to Blueprint's channel, pick one of the past 6 videos and watch it in its entirety, beginning to end. I know it's a lot to ask because it's a lot of time. Watch it beginning to end, and you'll know. Like, I definitely think that the player base and the I don't know what the word, the demographic is different. But like, watch that video and you'll be like, yeah, the reason why, like, it's because nobody makes that content in Tarkov. Like, it's just unbelievably engaging content that you don't want to look away from.
Yeah, but a lot of people make that content with Rust.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But
so that's what I'm saying is like,
I think I'm saying, I think if a lot of people made that type of content in Tarkov, they'd all get views. Like, I think maybe not to that level. Like, I agree that I agree that I think the demographic plays a part into it, but I really think that like the type of content plays a bigger part. Like, it's just addicting to watch. It's really, really.
Okay, so we're talking about 2 different things. There's like retention and performance, and then there's like your willingness to click and get sucked in.
Yeah.
And I feel like a Rust viewer is going to click on more
a higher
shit.
propensity to click on things. I agree with that for sure.
If you just put Rust whatever with a cool thumbnail is far more likely to get clicked than Tarkov whatever with a sick thumbnail.
I will say though that there are like there are lots of content creators in Rust that don't do well. I mean, there's just like Tarkov where there's a lot of
well, there are people that put out million-view Tarkov videos every other day or whatever the fuck. Like people that like honestly I never really watched, but like I never really watched more than like 10 fucking seconds of a General Sam video. But like every one of his videos would go out 800,000 views, 700,000 views.
I love General Sam, by the way. I hung out with him at TwitchCon. General Sam's videos aren't Tarkov videos. They're General Sam videos. You know what I mean? Like 80% of every one of his videos is his personality. Like he is addicting. He is who you want to see. And then he goes into Tarkov. That's why he does a lot of variety where like he can play any game and get a million views.
But I would also watch JLK play any fucking game also. Like I would watch him. It's the same reason why I watch like Operator Drewski videos for like I'll never fucking play the flight sims, that he plays. Like I'll never play I'm not
DCS, in any of that. But he makes it interesting. Yeah.
But he makes that kind of stuff interesting. Or even like Arma and those types of games. Like I'm not interested in those games and I wouldn't be interested in anybody else playing those games, but like I enjoy his stuff.
Yeah.
But that's also different and distinct from what I was mostly trying to respond to is why are his thumbnails and titles seemingly performing? And for me, my answer is I just think it's Rust.
Yeah.
And I think if you made that kind of content for Tarkov, well, okay, so there's multiple things here. There's multiple variables. Let's say you made that kind of content. You made a JLK or a Blueprint-esque video when you did the video about the ammo.
Yeah.
And it didn't perform as well because, one, you didn't have 2 million subscribers.
Yeah.
But 2, also because it's Tarkov, and I think if you went and you did a Rust video like you did in Tarkov, I feel like you'd have a higher chance of getting more views than Tarkov because of Rust. It's just the younger people are more they're gonna click on shit.
I also think like the things you can't tell how much it weighs in is one, he like you said, he's got 2 million subs, right? So like you can't look at like his videos 2 million, that's success. My video 100,000, that isn't success. With 100,000 views, with 100,000 subs, 100,000 views is success. But the other thing is like he has been putting out Rust videos for 6 years. So like Pestily is a good example where he's afforded a little bit more flexibility where he can title a video something much less meta and people will watch it because he was the pseudo just like Tarkov guy through the like huge bubble burst or the bubble that was Tarkov. And so like Rust has had so many of those, like Twitch Rivals where a bunch of people get in, XQC starts playing, everybody gets in, huge updates. So like Pestily has moved away and doing like IRL content and stuff like that alongside his gaming content. Blueprint has been playing Rust for 6 years, and every time Rust hit a bubble, he doubled down on content. He doubled down on content. He doubled down on content. So there's a part of it, an unknowable part of it that's like, it's Blueprint. He's been around he is the Rust guy, right? So he could name his video, "Don't watch this video, it sucks," and it would get 10 million views because he's Blueprint. So it's like, so I don't look at those guys and say, oh man, like I can't do what they're doing. Like I totally understand that there are so many aspects to it. Like I totally do. But I just look at their like, just, dude, watch a Willjum video, watch a Blueprint video. Like there's a lot of things I can't control about Tarkov, which is like the age demographic, that type of stuff. But the content they make is something special, and I'm trying to like figure out ways to bring that to Tarkov. But yeah, there's so much. It's so hard to look around and be like, oh, that person's successful. I wish I was, because the game they play is different, the demographic is different, their content style is different, the history is different, their establishment is different. 2 million subs just afford. So it's like, of course. So it's a balance when trying to take inspiration, it's a balance of like what you take. You don't want to carbon copy, but you want to figure out what works. So it's been interesting.
Did you ever watch Chris Ramsey?
Mm-mm.
So here, let me send this to you. He does, I bet you've seen one of his videos.
Maybe.
Where he does like puzzle boxes. But he also does
oh yeah. I think you've sent me some of his stuff before. Yeah.
Probably, yeah. And he has this company, First. They make like cards. I've been somewhere I have like one of his hats. Now he's got 7 million subscribers. If you go back like a couple of years, all of his puzzle boxing videos, we're getting somewhere between 500,000 and over 1 million views. He was like blowing up, and he has like great thumbnails, great titles, and he was upping the quality and the production value more and more and more and more. And at some point, YouTube was just like, nah, dog. And his numbers just went 300,000, 200,000. Now he puts out videos that it's like he's got a full production crew where right before the thing, they've got 1 million cameras, 4K lenses, this beautiful cinematography, all of these. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And now pretty much all of his videos are getting under 100,000 views. And he's got 7 million subscribers.
That's
and he makes
crazy. Yeah.
And he actually 1 month ago made a video called "The Truth About My Channel," where he was like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. Like, I'm burnt out. He's not passionate anymore because he's like doing this epic shit and there's no return on his investments. Like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
And I actually even commented. I'm pretty sure, I don't know if I actually even hit send, but if I go to the video and I scroll there, I literally wrote a comment a month ago. I feel this for my own channel / content on so many levels, dude. I have no answers, no advice. Just wanted to share. I'm feeling so much of the same shit and it sucks. I hope things get better for both of us. Like,
yeah.
It's, dude, and honestly, like, I hate to say it, but that made me feel a little bit better seeing that, because it's like, I know I can look at him and say, this guy should succeed. He was succeeding. It's like inexplicable why, why this went this way. So, because there's always in the back of your head, like, maybe my content's not that good.
For sure.
Maybe I like it way more than most people, and that's why. And the people that, are just fucking jerking me off, telling me how fucking great my content is when really it's not great. And,
Yeah.
you know, they're all lying to me, or they're just the super fans that are going to over appreciate everything, you know? And it's like, you kind of want a reality check it, but then I see stuff like this where it's like the same kind of shit.
Yeah, where it's like
no matter how
inexplainable. You know
good-
what I mean? Like you see people who like pivot directions or they change or they whatever, and you're like, okay, I can see it. But then you see the people, where it's like, I don't see it. The videos have only gotten better, higher production, higher energy, more of what the people wanted. How could this possibly fail? Yeah. I don't know.
What a fickle bitch.
What?
Dude.
Yeah. The YouTube certainly is. But for now, I'm passionate and motivated and excited that I'm passionate and motivated because there's not a whole lot going on at Tarkov, so I have something else to chew on. That's why I like having the different baskets, the podcast, the YouTube, the Twitch, because like when one's down, one's up, you know what I mean? And there's something new and mental to chew on and stuff like that. So
have you been playing Tarkov?
Yeah. A whole lot. Lot of Tarkov. Before we're at about an hour. So before we hop in though, we got some stuff to talk about Tarkov this week. Not a whole lot. Well, we have some things to talk about. But before we hop in, I do want to take a second and thank the first sponsor for this week's episode, and that is HelloFresh. I love getting sponsored by HelloFresh. Hashtag ad, hashtag sponsored. This has legitimately been a thing that we have been sponsored by before here on the podcast. And like, this is one of those few things that like, I don't even need notes. I don't need an ad read. I've used HelloFresh. I have a stack this thick of recipes. I had a HelloFresh recipe for dinner tonight. I love it. It's everything. It's super convenient. It's delicious food. The thing that I always like whenever we do these ads reads, because this is so personal with me, the thing that I always go back on is the convenience of it. You can take a week off, you can stop and then resume your subscription anytime. You can do 3 meals this week, 5 meals next week. You can do it for 2 people, for 4 people. You can do, extra protein. You can do, keto or whatever. There's like 30 or 40 different recipes to choose from every single time. Some of them are ready in as little as 15 minutes. And so the convenience thing is huge. And then secondly, I've always been someone who enjoyed cooking, but didn't know how to cook and didn't know what I didn't know. And I would end up buying, spices or sauces and they would just go bad. Like I've learned so much about cooking, about like making a pan sauce or how to make like a smaller portion of rice or something like that through HelloFresh that I feel like so much more confident in the kitchen as someone who actually legitimately did enjoy cooking. So dude, I love it. I love HelloFresh.
I went on a kick where I was watching like all of Gordon Ramsay's content ever, get like a master class and whatever, and that actually prompted me to like have the idea to get HelloFresh specifically so that me and my wife could spend time together and also cook, because that's just like there's only so much pizza and SpaghettiOs that I could eat before it's like I'm gonna die early, and so having good food. I hate shopping and all of the stuff that goes along with that, the portions and figuring out what recipes so having all of that self-contained is like game changer for me and the wife. So
seriously, having it be simple, easy, convenient, delicious, learning, all the things. So it's awesome. So so you can go to hellofresh.com/Pogcast22 and use code Pogcast22 for 22 free meals plus free shipping. That is hellofresh.com/Pogcast22. Use code Pogcast22 for 22 meals and free shipping. HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit. Thank you so much for sponsoring this episode of the podcast.
That's a lot of free meals. Holy shit.
That's a lot of free meals. Yeah, so HelloFresh is great. Tarkov. Yes, I've been playing a lot of Tarkov. Man, Tarkov is like, I don't know. It's like,
I mean, Tarkov is like,
man, it's like,
period.
It's
say no more.
It's crazy because it's like, part of it is legitimately, part of the frustration is legitimately that nothing is different about Tarkov right now. Not nothing, but like part of the like depression is that not that much is different than every wipe at this point to the end of the wipe. It's just exhausting to go through it again.
Mhm.
The like, you know, everybody wakes up from their coma. PvP sucks. The game sucks. This sucks. That sucks. This sucks. And it's like, bro, it's always like, how do you not understand this by now? It's like, it's going to be slow. Players are going to stop playing as much. You know, you're not going to have as many people like, you know, running around. Like, you're most likely going to run into brand new players that just bought the game. And you're going to yell at them and call them rats. And they're not rats. They just legitimately are terrified and looking at their map. Or you're going to run into a Giga Chat, or you're going to run into a cheater. So like, I'm not saying Tarkov isn't in a worse state. I do think it's in like one of the worst states it's ever been. But like part of the exhaustion is just the amount of times we've had the conversation of like X, Y, or Z. Like I didn't try to get on to this guy. I didn't like yell at him or anything or ban him. But I was like, I was walking around streets. I was on a scav and we were like, it was like super late in the raid. So I wasn't like worried I was going to die really. So I was like in the middle of the road, like free looking around, like looking around. And I was like, dude, I'm so excited for the streets expansion. Like, I was just like, I love this map so much. I love the vibes of this map. And somebody was like, they really need to fix the game before they put out any new content. And I just sighed so deeply. And I was like, I know.
Just
I know.
up.
You're right. You're right. You're right. What do you want me to say? You're right. Can I not just say I'm excited for street? Like, I was like, this goes
Dude, there
back
are
to
people dying in Africa
Yeah.
of starvation. What are you talking about, Tarkov?
It goes back to what we said, what we talked about last week, the literal infinite circle of like, I just don't want to have to spend 30 minutes qualifying every statement. And if I just dare to utter, I'm excited for something in Tarkov, then the people show up with it's like, why are they fixing the audio and the cheaters and this? But then if I'm like, guys, I know that the audio and the cheaters and this and that, and they really need to this and that, and they need to do this and that and this and that, but I'm excited for this. Then people are like, dude, just say what you want. And I'm like, I'm just dying. Like, it's not, there's a part of it that's like Tarkov is rough to play. I'm not trying to say Tarkov is perfect. There's a part of it where like Tarkov is rough to play right now, but there's a part of it where it's just like, shut up. Just shut up. Like, I'm just a guy. Like, you know what I mean? I am not Nikita. I have no power. You know what I mean? I hate when I see these tweets and stuff like that, where it's like, oh, maybe some big content creators can finally get through to Nikita. And I just hate that because it's like, dude, I have no power. And yeah, you're right, man. There are some people who have that mofo on speed dial. And unfortunately, it's been made pretty public that some of those people get changes that they want on a whim. And I hate that because it makes my life a living hell because I just have so many people that are just like, I'm just a dude. I'm just a 31-year-old nerd sitting in my office playing video games. That's it, man. I've made like, and I'm not even judging you. I've made countless videos like your videos where I'm like, this is just, you change this, please, God, please change this. It's so easy. It would make the game better. My videos don't get Nikita changing things. Like, I'm just a guy and I'm okay. I'm not resentful of the people that almost like everybody that has his ear.
Neither does my video.
Yeah. Yeah. Like,
it wasn't like, spoiler alert, that video I sent to Nikita and got radio silence. And then a couple weeks after it blew up and everything,
yeah,
in a call with Nikita, Clean said, hey, Nikita, make these changes.
Really?
And as much as people want to fucking hate on Clean,
oh, yeah,
he's the one that made it happen.
All those changes that you loved, guys. Like,
yeah, all the changes that everybody unanimously loved. So it's like, even I don't have the power. Nikita, stop talking to me.
Yeah. So it's like, I'm just a guy trying to play a game. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, I had the irony of like, you know, I love, my favorite thing Twitch has done ever is the first time chatter, because like, it just outs people so quick.
I fucking hate that they added that, dude.
Dude, it outs people so quick. Somebody came in and it was like first time chatter, and it was like, stop playing this game if all you do is complain about it.
Like, why did you come to my channel specifically to say that?
Yeah, I was like, wait, how would you know what I do all the time if it's literally...
Do you ever do the exclamation point watch time and you see 0 minutes and you're like, oh, I watch it in incognito mode.
It's like first chat message, 7.5 seconds of watch time. But all I do is X, Y, or Z, right? You know what I mean? So it's like, I know that we're going to get the comments. They're already typing furiously right now. This is what you get. This is what you ask for when you sign up to be a content creator. But like, it's just so funny because it's just like, so part of the Tarkov woe right now is just like, we're not having conversation. We're not having new conversations. We're not having conversations. We're not having anymore. And when there are new conversations, or like, that's what's crazy too, is like, I still love to talk about like what changes could happen or what changes we need or what we could do. You know what I mean? But the like real substance conversations, I still love being a part of. But the just like flippant disregard, the just like regurgitated L opinion streamer, or like the people going around just trying to incite arguments like, why do you play this game? Just go play something else, and like that kind of stuff. Like, Tarkov is dead, you know, all the players left, all the this, like the conversations that have no substance, I'm so tired of. And I don't mean tired of as in like I'm gonna ban you if you say it. I mean like physically exhausted. Like, I didn't even have the energy.
It's emotionally draining.
I didn't even have the energy to explain to that guy that I was like, yeah, I know they need to fix the game before they add new content, brother man. Like, I just am a guy saying that I like this map. You know what I mean? Like, it's like actually exhausting. So that's been part of it. Part of the shenanigans. But yeah, I don't know. It's just,
I mean, that's like 50, it's like 49% of why I stopped playing.
yeah.
It's because I can't even enjoy the game playing it.
Yeah.
If I could like hate the game and have fun with chat and interact with chat,
Yeah.
and like, then it'd be one thing. But it's like me not enjoying the game very often makes chat toxic, which makes me toxic, which makes chat,
Which
you
is
know,
just
so
spirals.
it's like, yeah. So, but you just gave me the idea actually of an interesting video that might be maybe a good precursor if I end up doing a main channel No Man's Sky video, is what Tarkov could learn from No Man's Sky. I'm just thinking about like the progression, all the things I talked about with the progression from like starting over, and how I've done like 7 new starts.
Yeah.
And they've all felt completely different.
Yeah. Fresh.
In Tarkov,
yeah.
it's identical. Right now, you can't procedurally generate 18 quintillion Tarkov maps, you know.
Yeah.
But like, there's something there that I could extrapolate out, and then like all of the cool elements about base building, like that's what the hideout should have been. The hideout should have been like building a base where you can put the modules where you want, and maybe having synergies based on how, you know, if you build the fucking bathroom next to the workout room, that gives you diminishing returns on the thing. You know, like I don't know. There's a million things they could do, but like there's so many interesting aspects of fucking even like modding. You know how like the adjacency bonuses when you put a module in like your multi-tool.
Yep.
If you put like the laser and then the laser upgrade to the right of it and then the other laser upgrade beneath it, the fact that they're adjacent, they get multipliers or additive bonuses. Like, imagine Tarkov like putting all the Tapco furniture on.
Oh yeah.
You suddenly get a +10 bonus to Ergo.
Like the enchantments that they have right now. Yeah.
And and that's like, you could argue that's even more realistic than enchantments, because it's like the Tapco furniture is it's designed to work together.
Yeah.
You know, like obviously that's, you know, like 98% bullshit.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, so is the rest of the game. 98% bullshit anyway. So, but like there's just so many interesting aspects
Yeah.
of it that like could add richness and replayability and more thinking to now it's not I'm going to do the best in slot ergo and the best in slot recoil and the best in slot whatever.
Yeah.
Now it's like, well, maybe these combinations work, and maybe you could make it so uncommon combinations give additional bonuses above and beyond the individual pieces.
Yeah.
And now you're making it so that you can have 27 different builds with comparable feel and stats.
Yes. Yeah. So there's true build variety. Yeah. So like killing a guy and you go, that gun is cool. And then you double click on it and you're like, oh, there's a +5 ergo. Why? And then you're reverse engineering. What are these parts? And then now you're thinking about, that's a really fascinating thought experiment on how to handle the attachments.
And I just thought of that in 4 seconds live on a podcast.
Yeah. Because I think about that all the time. Like, I'm really depressed that they've spent so much time modeling so many attachments for the guns. And it's just like they all have one use. You know what I mean? And it's like that's a really interesting way to do it. I think a really simple way that they could do it in like 10 minutes is like they flatten out everything and all attachments in the game. Like let's use foregrips, but this would apply to every category of attachment, right? Hand guards, barrels, whatever. But like all the foregrips, there's 3 categories: good, better, best. All of the good foregrips
are identical.
Give 2% recoil reduction. All the good ones. All the better ones give 4% recoil. And there are only 5 best ones, and all of them give a different. Some +5, +6 ergo, so it's like the ones that are varied are in a very small subset. Those are the best ones, and those are the ones that are only findable in raid. So now you have this combination where like the meta you would be able to build from a trader is you could build it 10 different ways, because you could use all the good handguards and all the good foregrips and all the good buttstocks would all result in the same stats. But then if you kill a guy that had a really rare foregrip or a really rare buttstock, now you could start to piece together much rarer ones, and those are only found in raid. You know what I mean? So it's like you get the benefit of both. And I was like, that would be so much simpler.
Dude, for sure. And if you think about like, you can't make anything really amazingly good because it would be the only thing that you could use. So
you can't make anything too amazing and give unlimited access to it. You can't have both.
But so if it was like 2% ergo, 4% ergo, and 15% ergo, but it was like, then when you used it, you would feel an appreciable, noticeable difference. But the additional 10 ergo doesn't make you invincible.
No.
And you're still only going to last 2 raids on average with it.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's going to dominate
and it keeps
the meta.
The feeling of loss. Because right now,
gain.
Exactly. There's no, like, that's a thing. Like, there's no, now, once again, I understand. If you're new, then you don't understand this conversation, and that's okay. But right now, there really is no feeling of loss, right? Like, there's nothing. I'm trying to think of a thing. I'm trying to think of a piece of gear that if I lost it in raid, I would really be sad about.
Like a thermal or a slick.
A thermal.
Are the only things I can think of.
A thermal's a good one. A slick even. Because once again, they didn't remove the ability to buy slicks. They just added clicks. Because I can go on the flea market and buy 3 troopers and 3 corduras and 3 ripstops and barter for a slick, right? I can still buy slicks. They just made them more expensive and made more clicks in between. Thermals are the same way. You can get thermals whenever you want, but they are really expensive, and those are one of those things that do kind of give you a feeling of loss. T7s, but nobody really actually runs T7s.
Because that's absurd.
Yeah. That's So it's like there's no feeling of loss because it all, like, I mean, we've said this before. It all comes down to access, bro. It all comes down to access. There's just no, it's just, we have access to everything. We have access to everything that we want. Even I talk a lot about like the traders are really what's broken. Everybody points to the flea. You know what I mean? But like right now, you can't buy really good armors on the flea. You can't buy most tier 5 armors on the flea. You can't buy most tier 6 armors on the flea. You can't buy most good guns on the flea. But you can buy them all from the traders. Like, you know what I mean? And so it's still just like an access game to me. So by
the problem there though is that those things are still really expensive from the traders. So the flea makes it easy to make almost infinite money.
Yes.
So, it's indirectly a problem. Those people are right by accident.
And I was kind of talking with chat the other day about how like you don't necessarily fix that by getting rid of the flea. Like I still think the flea has a beneficial place in the game. I think found in raid is a little scuffed. And then I think the big thing that I've been on mentally that I've been chewing on that I might make a video is the entire concept of loot in Escape from Tarkov is so ass backwards. Now, I don't mean I kill a guy and I'm looting their stuff. I'm saying when we all spawn in, at the moment we spawn in, if you pause the game, what are you looting? Very small, highly valuable trinkets.
Yep.
Where's the post-apocalyptic world? Where's the raid series? Where's the scavenger? Where's the I don't have enough ammo. I don't have enough mags. I don't have all we loot. When people talk about loot, the loot is broken. Loot needs to be buffed. Loot. They are talking about Bitcoins, lead X's, graphics cards, teapots, lions, gold skulls, pro kills.
Rubles per slot. That's it.
There's no loot. There's no actual loot. There's no loot like in Diablo. What are you looting? Gear.
Yeah.
Stuff.
And gold is irrelevant.
Stuff I want to use. Now, I'm not saying get rid of all the cool, high valuable trinkets, but I'm saying that like all you want when you spawn into a raid right now is to min-max the amount of single slot, highly valuable things that you can sell on the flea for a high amount of money. But if like right now, like this is just a crazy thought experience that makes no sense. Like you're going to be able to poke holes in this really easily. But if 75% of all loot, like high value, anything that can spawn a tech or a gold chain or a chainlet or a Bitcoin or an RFID or a Vertex, if 75% of those things became gear-based loot, maybe a high-capacity magazine or a 40-round magazine or a gun or a stock gun or whatever, and 75% of all the locked rooms, their loot was switched to like this locked room has a gun rack full of guns. And you might get the one where one of them on there is really rare, the RSAS like fully decked R with the voodoo, but you might get a bunch of like mediocre ones. You unlock this room and it's full of armors, and you might get a slick or you might get a core end, but you might get class 4s and a TV rig and something like that. Well, most of that stuff is not sellable on the flea market. So if there was access was highly limited to the traders, the loot in the raid was that, then the flea market would still kind of have its place because you would still find much less frequently, but you'd still find the pro kill or the chainlet, and the value of it would probably be even more because there's less of them. So it would still be a place to offload those things, but it wouldn't be exclusively what you're looking for. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing is like, once again, well, like you made in your, like the big point you made in a lot of your videos in the one that blew up was like, Nikita, let me show you what you showed us you wanted this game to be. Let's watch some clips of the raid series, right? The whole point of this was supposed to be like, this is the vibe of Tarkov. And like, it's not, you know what I mean? And so like, that's a huge thing to me where like people say that, you know, these really blanket statements or these really binary things, loot needs to be buffed. The flea market needs to go. And it's like, okay, like I get where you're coming from because I agree that the looting in Tarkov sucks right now, but I don't think it's as simple as loot needs to be buffed. I don't think
American politics needs to change.
Yeah.
I've said a meaningful statement that does nothing.
I don't think moonshine spawns need to be buffed. I don't think Bitcoin spawns need to be buffed. I think we need to create a void and then fill the void with loot. Yeah. We need to create the void by making so much less gear accessible to traders. Now, if you're a new player to the game, if you're a casual player, all the gear you buy from the traders, I think should stay, right? Rat rigs, penis helmets, AKs, car med kits, all that stuff. But slick barters and every single attachment you need to buy a meta M4, every single attachment you need to buy a meta mutant, every single attachment you need to get a meta SA58, that stuff, create a void, then fill the void with loot. The reason that the loot isn't like that is like because I can't buy moonshines from the traders, right? You can buy from the fleet, but if you find it, then you sell it for more money, right? Like that's the only void. I can just buy all the gear I want. Why would I need to go loot it?
A huge aspect of what you're talking about is it moves towards making what I was saying about No Man's Sky, about how each playthrough is different.
Yeah.
Well, now when you go into a raid and you go into Kiba, the probability space of combinations of things that could be on the wall, they could make it infinitely, there could be 7 guns, there could be 2 guns, all the guns could be one of, honestly, like, they could spend a weekend and have 3 guys in a room with a whiteboard and come up with 300 builds
easily
that are all unique and all cool and usable instead of the like 10 that we've had forever that are garbage.
Yep.
And or they could make it fucking procedural, randomized, whatever. Like, but think about what you're talking about, because now it's I go in with the same 3 kits and I go to loot the same 2 rooms to get the LEDXs or the key cards. And it's the same thing over and over again. But imagine if it's I'm going in with a different kit than I've ever played with before, and I'm gonna find different gear than I've ever played with before, and then combine that with the dynamic, emergent PvP situations of Tarkov, and now you have a great fucking game.
Exactly.
And the flea market shouldn't be for making money. I think the flea market should be a way to facilitate progression through the hideout, and or connected to that is quests. It's not the way to make money.
Yeah.
It should be the way that you get the shit so that you can build the stuff in the hideout that will make running raids better or easier. Little buffs to stamina drain or strength and being able to craft things that you're going to use and not, but
for sure. So like so to the people that say like looting sucks in Tarkov, looting needs a buff, I say I agree with you, but I say before we just make every corner a LEDX spawn, you know what I mean, and make every locked room moonshine spawn, let's just take a step back and think about like what this game is, you know what I mean? Like it's not just like pick up Bitcoin simulator, like. And I know that those people would say, which I agree, if there's really good loot in certain areas, that facilitates PvP because people are there, and that's the closest thing we have to emergent gameplay in Tarkov is the really natural PvP progression. And I get that, and I agree with those things. I just think that in the world we just described, all of those things are heightened, right? It's a better experience. It's a more dynamic experience. It's more dynamic PvP. It actually maybe pushes you around to different parts of the map, because that's a thing as well. Like if over here's got a really good locked room with good armors in it, and on the other side of the map it's got good weapons in it, and on this map is the only map you can find this particular armor, now there's a natural reason. Like the only reason you play any map is because I know I can make money there, or I like that map. Those are the only 2 reasons. Past quests. And the really good thing about the quests, even though the quests may be designed really poorly, is that it pushes you around. You're here for a reason. So creating emergent gameplay out of that, where maybe there's lots of rooms all over Tarkov that are armor spawns, but you can only get slicks from Reserve and Lighthouse in these places. And there's lots of places where you can get good ammo, but you can only get 7 and 40 on Interchange and this, because then depending on what you have and depending on what you seek, then also dictates maybe the map you want to go, and the map you want to go, if you don't have instant access to gear, maybe in turn, like if you only have 3 voodoos, you're probably not bringing them to customs. You might want a red dot because you might want to save your voodoos for Lighthouse when you're sniping rogues. You might want to save your voodoos for woods. But because I can have infinite and unlimited access to voodoos, I might as well just bring one every damn raid. You know what I mean?
Your voodoo to fucking factory.
So it's like, so all these things end up determining, maybe I want to bring a different kit depending on the map I'm going to. I want to bring different gear depending on the loot I am trying to go. I'm going to go to a different map depending on the loot I'm trying to access. And then now looting in PvP and all these things also get buffed without it just being more Bitcoins. You know what I mean? Like, and more moonshines and stuff like that.
I mean, yeah, man.
So
couple all of that stuff with the ability to take apart weapons.
Yes, dude.
As well as I would love it if like you could take apart weapons and fold armors. Because imagine having a backpack with 4 sets of armor and 3 guns that you took the most of the parts off of, the stock and the grip. That right there is way better than full of flashlight, laser attachment, LEDX, Bitcoin. Like one of those is like what you would expect, right? Like,
yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Fuck.
No, I agree. So, I don't even know how we got there, really. I don't know how we got on that tangent, but yeah, there's just a lot of stuff. So, ultimately I was saying I don't mind and I still enjoy meaningful conversations around like changes that could happen to Tarkov. And I by no means consider myself an expert that I have the perfect idea around everything. It's just the meaningless, substanceless conversations around the game is dead, it's going to die, nobody's playing, BSG can't get their head out of their own ass, XYZ, yada, yada, yada. It's just like, stop wanting new maps or whatever. It's just like, it's just getting tiresome. And I understand that I was that person at a given time too, right? So it's like hard. I try to empathize, but it's just like, it's just exhausting. I don't know. I'm not trying to like, I also constantly mauled about the game, so I'm not trying to be like, oh man, everyone should just stay positive. Like, that's not the route I'm coming from here.
But you're mauling at the game. You're not telling people how they should feel about it.
Exactly. I think that's it. Exactly. It's like I'm very willing to maul about the game and to maul at the game with you. And like a lot of people that come in and like, if they're like, dude, this game sucks, this is so stupid, I hate it. To that guy, I'm normally like, I feel you, man. But the guy that comes in and it's like, you shouldn't be talking about that because these things are more important. And I know what kind of influence you have. So by you saying that, that's when I'm like, dude, I'm so tired. I'm so tired. You know what I mean? Like that's a good way to put it. Thank you for like salvaging that. Cause I could already see the comments that are like, Jesse again, just being Mr. Optimist. No, I'm not Mr. Optimist. I'm mauling about the game all the time. But the coming in and just telling people what they should feel, or like the high and mightiness that we're at now, where like, all these intelligent conversations have been had so many times that unintelligent people can regurgitate intelligent facts and they think that makes them intelligent. I'm just like, oh, dude, like, it's just getting to me, you know? So,
I mean, yeah. And on the topic of meaningless conversations, completely and utterly lacking empathy, the complete opposite of that is a perfect segue into our final sponsor of the episode.
Yes.
BetterHelp, which is the world's largest therapy platform. We've talked about BetterHelp a million times.
Yep.
I've actually been the last few therapy sessions that I've had. I've actually kind of pivoted and been talking about some different stuff, some other stuff, you know, like I talked about with my grandmother and family stuff. And dude, let me tell you, like, between me and some other folks in my family who also use BetterHelp, I don't even know how to say this. Like, things would be different if we didn't have people outside of our circle, you know, because you don't want to necessarily burden your loved ones with these things all the time, or burden your friends with these things. Things are for us infinitely better. Being able to talk to somebody, being able to do it from the fucking convenience of my bedroom, you know, once a week, having these conversations. It's super convenient. And life changing for me,
sure.
For sure.
It's Man, and I love that, like, as a society, we've been doing a pretty good job of trying to dismantle the stigma around it. But there's still, like, I say this to anybody who's considering it, but like has their own personal stigma. Like, I think that's an important thing to talk about too. It's just like, it's like, whether it's like people don't want to ask for help or people just can convince themselves. I think our subconscious does a really good job of just like immediately flying through a bunch of reasons we shouldn't do something. It'll be too hard or whatever. But it's like, it's just like, so as somebody who spent a lot of time in counseling and in therapy, and as you know, like to just mirror your opinion, like it's so liberating, it's so freeing, it's so beneficial to talk about someone, whether you have like really deep core things in your life that are like very 911 that you need to address, or whether you're just like tired and anxious and don't know what to do about the future and aren't sure what to do. Like, it's just as helpful of a preventative thing as it is a, 911, we need to stop the bleeding thing. And so it's just, it's so just like underrated how beneficial it can be to just talk to another human being. And BetterHelp does a really good job of cleaning up a lot of the mess. They like, it's the best that I've seen as far as like, they want to get you to a therapist that's like connects with you. So, no phone calls, no assistance, no nothing. It's just try someone. If you want to try something else, nobody's offended. Couple of clicks, you request someone new, you find someone that clicks with you and you start talking. There's all sorts of awesome, cool benefits that BetterHelp does, like being able to like submit notes or like messages. It's not, like a guarantee they're going to respond, but some form of communication, even just to like jotting down notes of like, I want to talk about this so you don't forget. Like, that's a cool thing that you don't often have with people if it's done IRL. So yeah, BetterHelp is, it's awesome, man. It's really cool.
Yeah, for sure. So when you want to be a better problem solver, therapy can get you there. Go to betterhelp.com/pogcast today to get 10% off your first month. That's betterhelp.com/pogcast. Check them out.
Check them out. The only like notable thing that's happened in Tarkov, did you see that they put labs cards back on the flea yesterday?
I've just seen Twitter.
Yeah. And which is great.
It just makes me happy that I'm taking a break, because it's like, I'm so glad that I can witness it from afar.
Yeah. It's a dub. Like, it's good. Like, they weren't leaning in any direction too long. Like, labs had just become this weird place where it's like, it can't be both things. It can't be this like super secret underground bunker that's super hard to get into and have no loot. You know what I mean? It's like you either have to let people in and let it be like the little Thunderdome where they duke it out and be the PvP thing, or if you're going to make it this secret underground bunker full of loot that nobody can get into, restrict access, but then put stuff down there. You know what I mean? So it was like, so it was cool that they put it back on the flea. I think in general, it also allows people to get in there and learn the map, but it's also just like, it's not bringing anyone back to Tarkov, right? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody that was hoarding their cards listed them. You can get cards so much cheaper than from therapists because people were listing, 20, 30 cards. They get them from their scavs and they just like keep them. And so
has it generally made it feel like there's less cheaters? Has it felt like it's been watered down?
I haven't played a single labs raid since the change. I just don't care. I just don't care, bro. Did I tell you? No, I didn't, bro. Oh my God. I got raids with Bearkey again today, but for the first time last week. It was Friday, so it was right after the podcast, bro. This was hilarious. We went in with I changed back to the Timmy stock clothes. I got the stock EOD hatchet, and we went in with nothing. And our goal was to convince people we were new to the game. And so like our second run, we found these dudes and they shot at us and we were like, no. And we were like, dude, these scavs, we were in a scav raid and we found these labs cards and they told us it's like the best place for like Timmy's, like new people to go get loot. We didn't even bring a backpack. And these guys were like, no, like, oh, they lied to you. They were like, man, like this is real. And so like, they were like explaining to us what raiders were. And they're like, how the AI's cracked. Like these guys are on another level. And we were like, oh my God. And they were like, you want to come with us? And we were like, yeah, I mean, I don't think we're going to last on our own. And so they put us in the button room for parking garage.
The yellow key card? Oh, no, the other one?
No, but the power, but yeah, the other one. And they wiped the lobby. These guys were like level like 40 and 50. Like they weren't like level 60 gigachats. They killed like 4 PMCs and they just kept bringing loot back into the room. And then they kept killing raiders. And like in the middle of a fight, I was like, oh, you can loot computers? And I like loot the computer and then I click the power button. And they're like, whoa. And I was like, I thought you could loot this. I thought it was loot. And they were like, no. And it like spawned a bunch of raiders. Dude, it was gold. It was such great content. And they kept being like, hop in our Discord. And we were like, no, our Discord's broken. I don't know how to do that. yeah. And anyways, so we were like, man, we want them to know we're us, that we're like Chads, like we're like high levels, but we don't want to just tell them. And so we concocted this plan. We were there were 3 minutes left in this labs raid. We were there the whole time. We were on our way to parking. The door was open. We were in the garage. And Bearkey pulls a nade and she starts freaking out. She's like, what did I do? What do I do? What do I do? And she throws it straight down. And I overvoice. I'm like, I'll body block you. And I lay on the nade and we both die. 3 minutes left. They got all of that loot for us, dude. They wiped the lobby. Bro, they messaged us and they were like, that was the funniest thing I've ever. They were like, we looted your dog tags and we lost our minds. Like they ended up finding me and coming into chat and like hanging out.
Were you on your main account?
Yeah. Oh yeah. So it's like, we looked like Timmy's, but when they looted us, they were like level 63. Like it was like such good content, bro. Just pretending to be brand new to the game and having them like explain the mechanics of the game. And they were such good sports about it. They were like, we were nervous that they were going to be like pissed, but they were like, that was the funniest thing I've ever. Dude, it was so great. So that was my labs experience recently. Bearkey made a video about it. Go check out Bearkey's YouTube channel. She has a video of the whole thing. But yeah, I haven't really played a whole lot of labs since the thing. I don't think it's going to make a huge change, but you know, it was like the only thing that happened this week. We didn't get any Chronicles of Rigi. We didn't get any. I got a notification on my phone. Escape from Tarkov Arena Twitter account tweeted something. Baited, bro. They tweeted 4 screenshots of the Chronicles of Rigi that happened 3 weeks ago. I was like, what?
Fire whoever did that.
Absolute jabait. Jabaited. I was so pissed. I was like, finally, some sweet content, and it was nothing.
President Biden has scheduled a press conference where he's going to be discussing big news about student loans, and then he's like, nothing's changing.
Yeah, exactly. So no new Chronicles of Rigi, no new news, none of the patches that are on the roadmap. We got labs cards on the flea, and I'm learning that morning Tarkov is... There's no one on when it's in NA. I mean, even more so, this latent wipe, dude. It's like the other day I played 3 Streets raids where I looted all of the most high value stuff by myself. Streets of the premier map, it's got the best PvP in the game right now, and I looted the whole map by myself, killed 3 scavs, and left. It's great if you're trying to make money, but it's.
Yeah, I would love to see. Yeah, some of the people who have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of rubles. That they play early in the morning in East Coast, but on West Coast servers.
Yeah. So it's like 2 a.m.,
4 a.m., and you know they.
Yeah. But yeah, that's Tarkov. Vibes are at an all-time low. In the community, they're at an all-time meh is actually a good way to put it. They're at an all-time meh. Trying to have fun playing the game. Oh yeah, I hit 100 million. I've never had 100 million before. I hit 100 million.
Oh, you're who I'm talking about, and you fucking
no, yeah, but I played normal. I haven't taken a single. I think I've taken 2 viewer kits, one from Tower and one from Fudge. 2 viewer kits, no viewer kits.
You didn't get banned.
No, I didn't get banned. And Fudge gave me a Mark 18 and the 6-shot GL big pipes. and I didn't get banned.
Holy fuck. Well, yeah, I mean, that friendly guy also took like.
Yeah, oh
50
yeah,
million.
that's right. That's right. So like, it's we're trying to have fun. I don't know. It's Tarkov.
Dude, if you're having fun, that's fucking.
Yeah.
Nobody should be fucking telling you to do anything differently, and nobody should be giving you shit.
Yeah.
And all of the people who want to play that aren't having fun, rightfully so.
Yeah.
They can live vicariously through you.
Yep.
And there's a lot of people that want to just do that, and
Yeah.
I fucking get it.
Yeah.
So
Live vigorously through me. Yep. that's a meme, dude. Valiant.
Wait, that's a meme?
Yeah. Valiant, right? Okay. Dude, he's such a goofball. Homie somehow, I don't know, he gets into these situations so much. Somehow finagled himself into an Apex Legends tournament where the teams rotated every once in a while, and he's on Nick Merckx's team. Okay. So like Valiant and like top 3 streamers of all time, Nick Merckx is streaming, and they start talking, and he just like, I don't remember. Oh, they were talking about how small his penis is. I don't even know how. But it got to Valiant, he kept saying, I'll just have to live vigorously through you. And he just kept saying it. He's on a call with Nick Merckx. 50,000 people are watching. And he just kept saying, I'll just have to live vigorously through you. So, dude, we troll him so hard. It's so...
Dude, he's a fucking sweetheart,
He is
man.
the best, bro.
He's one of the folks that, like, randomly would reach out and be like, how you doing, man?
Yes. And, like would talk to you for an hour if you needed to talk. Yeah,
he's a good dude.
He is. But it's so fun.
What a fucking meme. Holy shit.
Dude, so now anytime anyone's like, I'll just live vicariously, I'm like, dude, go ahead and you live vigorously, man.
Dude, I think we've got time maybe for a story time.
Yes.
It's been too long.
It's been too long since we've done a story time.
I've only got a few left. I'm going to have to think about a few more.
I need to dig out some too.
Dude, I've been wanting to tell the story of the stabbing.
Yes, I've been staring at it for so long on our notes.
All right, yeah. So, this is, let's see, junior year of college. This was like a month before I met my wife.
Okay.
Like I had said, my previous relationship, we were all associated with the volleyball team.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Usually, like, teams at a lot of colleges, it's like the men's and the women's team that are of the same sport, or like a little mini community. So, and I didn't play sports in college. So, very often I just ended up being like a groupie, like just following, girlfriends or whatever to their games and trying to be supportive and stuff. But so a lot of my friends, even at the time when I was single, were volleyball players. I was at a party at a kind of like, God, I'd be doxing myself if I said where it was. But there's just some like kind of sort of trashy-ish apartments that are sort of notorious in the area, that a bunch of people, in college were staying at these apartments. And somebody at the party, I know who it was. So there was one of the friends of one of the players. They had like their brother and his friends like show up to this party, which was like weird. It generally wasn't like outsiders to a lot of these parties, and they were from like an adjacent town that's like a less nice town. It's like, oh, they're from this town, like, oh god. Now I was let me try and think. A friend of mine one of the girls on the volleyball team. She was driving my car. She was the designated driver.
Okay.
'Cause don't fucking drink and drive, kids. And by kids I mean adults.
Yeah. Don't drink or drive, kids.
Yeah. Don't drink and or drive. Don't do any of those things. So we were leaving the party, and randomly there was 3 dudes outside, fucking smoking butts outside of the entrance to this place, and I was leaving with 3 girls from the volleyball team to go back because a couple of them I was like roommates with in an apartment we had. Now, I'm obviously not, built for fucking physical confrontation, but I am also not a bitch, and I'm not a pushover.
Yeah.
And I won't be spoken to in certain tones of voice or my friends. So we're leaving, and I've had a few drinks. And I don't remember what the guys said, but they said something, let's just say disrespectful to the girls I was with.
Yeah.
Now it's me, 3 girls, and 3 dudes who are probably each twice my size.
Yeah. Okay.
And I basically told them to go fuck themselves and, keep their mouths shut. But I also... All right, I won't get into that. I told them to keep their mouths shut, all right? So
I so badly want the story to end with Veritas channeling the spirit of the bottlenose dolphin and just kicking the butts of 3 dudes outside of a gas station.
This isn't going to be a John Wick ending, don't worry. Now, at the time, I have a black and yellow flannel because it was like fall, maybe winter-ish.
Okay.
Now, this was before flannels were cool, okay?
The original flannel wearer.
Flannels have always been cool, but for some reason, the guy wanted to make a joke about questioning my sexuality, which, didn't even offend me. But it was interesting that you would make a comment like that when the guy was wearing a sweater vest and I was wearing a flannel. And I had to point out sort of the seeming contradiction there. Now, that comment after the, go fuck yourselves comment, I made kind of like the guy not facing the explosion, just walking away like, whatever. And then the back windshield of my Ford Ranger shatters. And I go to turn and I get hit with a beer bottle in the back of my head.
What?
It didn't shatter, just the fucking deadest thud.
Yep.
And I turn around, like, what the fuck? And I see the 3 dudes dropping their backpacks and coming at me. And I'm like, well, this isn't going to end well.
Nope.
Now, I also have been a collector of, like, pocket knives.
Yeah.
And I had a pretty nice bench made. Now, the way I looked at it is, in the moment, questionable or not, was these 3 guys could have killed me.
Yep.
Like, physically, easily, I didn't stand a fucking chance,
Yep.
Best case scenario, I break a nose and then I fucking die, And, having questionable judgment, I never, I had my concealed carry license, but never would carry if there was ever going to be alcohol involved.
Yeah.
But I almost always had a pocket knife just for, like, utility reasons.
Yep.
Well, I flicked out the pocket knife, and while I'm walking backwards to my truck, and I basically am like, listen, I don't have fucking beef with you guys. Let's just let bygones be bygones. This doesn't have to escalate any further, but you're not fucking getting any closer to me,
Yep.
This ain't escalating, and that was the only way that I thought, I could stop it. And they stopped in their tracks, and I slowly walked back, got in the fucking passenger seat of my truck, and told the ladies, like, get in the fucking car. Drove away. I've never seen somebody struggle to put a thing in reverse. It felt like 3 minutes of just trying to put the fucking car in reverse. So,
damn.
As soon as we get in the truck, these guys sprint to the truck and they're just punching the windows, trying to reach through the back window. They finally managed to fucking drive away, and we get home, and of course my heart's racing, like, holy fuck, like, was that a stupid idea? Probably a little stupid, but at the same time, like, whatever. Remember, this is college. I'm probably like 22 or something. Yeah. So, I'm not the smartest bloke in the world. Well, I get home to my apartment, and there was 5 people lived in an apartment. There were 3 bedrooms. 2 girls shared one room. One guy was in a bedroom. One girl was in a bedroom. And then I was in like the living room, side room, dining room kind of thing with like sheets up on the walls, like between the kitchen and whatever. And there's a giant window looking out to the parking lot. And that was my room. So just me and a pane of glass, between any. And I get a text message from a number with the area code from this other town. It says, big mistake. I'm like, fuck, here we go. And it was
what?
It was so those 2 dudes apparently went back up into the party and was like, yo, that guy that was just here, wearing the fucking yellow flannel, he came out, he pulled a knife on us.
Oh my God.
That was the fucking story. Like, I tried, and of course everybody's like, what?
Yeah, what?
Like, Mike? Like, what the fuck are you talking? Like, it doesn't sound like him. But of course, he gets all his fucking tough guy homies, and they're like, we know where you live, we're coming. So of course I'm like, at the time I had a little gun safe bolted into the closet, and I had a shotgun, Wasser 10, which is a Romanian AK. Basically it's a Vepr.
Yeah, okay.
Shotgun, a Glock. I'm like, listen, dog, you want to come to my house, you can come to my house, but you're not going to have a good time.
Yeah.
So, someone's going to have a bad time, and it's not going to be me. So why don't you just fucking keep all your tough guys at the party and enjoy yourselves, and we'll forget this ever happened, because I'll never fucking see you fools again. They never came, luckily.
Bro.
So both times my potentially questionable, a little bit of bravado, like, yeah, come on, fucking, you want to do it?
Risky business right there.
Well, of course, one of the other girls, who was my now wife's roommate. Okay. She goes back to the dorms, because I'm at my apartment. Uh-huh. She goes back to the dorms where like most of the girls were. And she's like, oh, Mike, there was a stabbing. Oh. She's completely hammered. This girl's basically like Phoebe from Friends.
Mike started stabbing these people on the side.
Like, someone pulled a knife and then broke the window. And so then everybody was like, what the fuck? There was a stabbing? And that was like the rumor that went around was like, what's the stabbing? Like, what happened?
So
and
like you like in real life got one of those like in all the like 90s movies where there was a character and everybody's like, that guy killed his own mom. And then like you find out later in the movie that he tried to save his mom, but the mom died. Like that was like a real life. You had the stabbing where people thought you stabbed people, but it like wasn't, you didn't. But then the rumors circulate. I'm so jealous. That's so cool.
It's still referred to as the stabbing.
That's crazy, bro.
And of course, that was the first time that, like, my wife was like, "Who? Like, what? What are you talking about?" Because I think like 3 weeks later is when this is gonna date things. It was a themed party.
Yeah.
Jersey Shore themed party.
Yeah.
Now, naturally, I was a situation.
Yeah.
Because his name was Mike. I think. I'm pretty sure. But that's where I met my wife. Actually, she had the fucking like poof with the yeah.
Dude,
Listen,
that's crazy.
but yeah, that's the stabbing. So I
stabbing.
had to fix the fucking my truck, and
Yeah,
I didn't need any like stitches or anything, but
getting hit in the back of the head with a beer bottle don't feel good.
no, and it has to be said that like you think like I'm gonna defend myself right with this knife.
Yeah,
There's also the very real possibility that like having the knife gets me killed more often than not having it.
yeah,
Like in this situation, I got lucky and it de-escalated, right?
yep.
But imagine they're like, fuck it, let's go. One of them pulls a knife,
Dude.
or they decide to come at me, and what at that point, it's like, fuck, am I even gonna stab somebody?
Yeah,
like,
dude, yeah. Those are like crazy. Yeah.
But now I've got this, it's such a it's just one of those things where everybody wants to pretend like they're a tough guy, and from my cold dead hands, I'm gonna always have my weapon to defend myself and it's just so much more fucking complicated than any of those situations, especially when adrenaline sets in, when you might be drunk, someone else might be on drugs. These situations are all over the place. Like it's just a crazy lesson where it's like, fuck, like,
yep. That's crazy.
Yeah, so I'm not. This story wasn't told. I don't think I'm a tough guy. I don't think I was being fucking cool or anything like that.
It's just like
it is what it is. That's what happened.
Thing that happened. That's crazy. It's crazy that it escalated to that point where like the knife was even pulled. I was trying to think. I was like, do I have any cool stories of like the closest I've ever come to a physical altercation? And I've never been close. I've never like fought somebody or almost fought somebody.
Not even as a kid?
Fist fight? Not really, no.
Oh, dude, I got in fucking fist fights.
Yeah, like I've never been punched
3 days.
in the face. I've never punched anyone in the face. Like,
oh, you don't know? You don't,
like,
dude, no.
I like brothers. Like my older brother used to beat on me and just like push me around and stuff, and like we would wrestle and fight, but not like a proper with another human being, with like another outside of my family. But the closest
you don't know where you are in life until the moment where you get your ass knocked the fuck out.
Yeah, maybe that's why I don't know where I am in life. I need somebody to come beat me up. No, the closest thing that did remind me though, the closest I've ever been to a situation where like that, where you're like one more step and there's no coming back. Like that's where you were, where like you pulled that out and you were like, I don't know what's about to happen here, but if this escalates one tier further, something's about to happen. You know what I mean? Yeah. Me and my buddy, it was when we were traveling around, we were like doing music stuff. We had a trailer or something on the trailer was broken. We had like the trailer hooked up, and we pulled up to a Target because there was like a Home Depot nearby. We were in the back of the parking lot because we had the trailer, so we didn't want to take up a bunch of spots up close. We were like in an excursion with a trailer. So we were towards the back of the parking lot, and we were like on our phone, like looking at like what we needed. We needed to go get some stuff. And I had my door open, and this dude runs up and like leans on the door. So he's now put himself where I can't close the door. And he was like, yo, can I get a ride? We were like, nope.
That's instantly like fucking Monka.
We were like, nope. Sorry, bud. Just like, nope. And he was like, I really need a ride. And we were like,
is he like running from the cops?
We were like, nope. And like, so at the time, that was the closest, like, my friend and I were both, like, reaching for our concealed carries, like, just to, like, just in case. Like, I'm not about to pull a gun on this guy, but, like, I was like, he seems on my side. I was like, dude, you've got to go. I was like, you're not getting a ride. You're not getting a ride. And he was like, dude, I really need. And then he, like, just stopped. And it was at this time that I realized he had something stuck in his shirt and a wire draping down. And I think it was a taser lead that got stuck in his shirt that he pulled the wire out. And he ran away. He just was like, we heard sirens, and he immediately stopped talking and ran just through the parking lot out towards the street.
Be a fucking taser.
Dude.
The lead stuck in him.
Bro, And like later, we like heard on the, it was because we were in our local place. We heard on the news that like some dude tried to steal a TV from Target and that the cops chased him around. And that dude was like 16 inches from my face. I'm sitting in the passenger seat of this excursion and he was like, bro, I really need a ride. And we were like, you gotta go, brother. You know what I mean? Like that was one of those things where like, I was never like, I didn't feel like my life was necessarily in danger, but retroactively when we realized what had happened and when you understand that people in those situations make desperate decisions, like I thought about like how close I was to him just like putting his hands on me and just like trying to rip me out and get in the car. You know what I mean? It's like that would not have ended well. You know what I mean? For anybody in that situation. But like it was just
GTA, IRL.
Yeah, it was just like it was just we were literally, it was like a Saturday morning. We were like going to do like work. We were like had to go get some things from the Home Depot and here, and we were gonna do this stuff. And literally, I opened the door because it's hot, you know. And this dude just runs up. I need a ride. And it was like the craziest. It was weird. It was a weird experience.
Dude, that's fucked.
Yeah. But that's like the closest. Like I've never like fought anyone. I've never come into a situation where I've almost fought anyone. I'm too much of a piece. I'm just like, whatever. You know, it's fine. I'm so non-confrontational. It's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, I had my three best friends growing up. They were two of them are older. I think I've talked about them before. And throughout the years, there was a lot of like, you know, punches thrown and stuff where, you know, I ended up just being like, nah, it's cool. And then, you know, there were a few times where I'm like, nah, fuck it. Like,
yeah.
You know, and I remember vividly the first time. Now I was probably 9.
Yeah.
But I remember the first time we were in like playing like catch with a Nerf football in the snow in like
oh my
3
God.
feet of snow. So we were in like fucking, you know, big oh my God, starter jackets. I had a Dallas Cowboys starter jacket.
Oh my God.
You know, in snow pants and whatever. And I remember, you know, something ended up happening and you know, like my friend pushed me or whatever, and I pushed him, and finally it was like, all right, let's fucking do this. And I'm like, all right.
Let's
and I
go.
just remember like ears ringing, waking up on the ground, like fuck. You know, and it's like, well, that didn't go well.
I think
you know?
I lost this one.
Yeah, that was like the first where, you know, where it's not like two kids just like wrestling on the ground. Where it was like, oh, all right then.
Dang.
But yeah, I mean, I haven't gotten in any physical altercations as like an adult, really. Yeah. Because like I feel like there's very few fucking reasons.
There's so few reasons to, yeah.
But I mean, like even in college and even past that, there are still people that just that's the way they resolve.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah, man. It's like, are you a fucking
doing?
monkey? Like,
yeah.
Like you there they are proof for any deniers that we are poorly evolved primates.
Yeah.
The way that dudes act.
Yeah.
Is like,
yeah.
Fuck. And I'm not like, you know, it'll be seen as like anti-masculinity or whatever. Like say what you want. I just think it's fucking like so. If you can bench a ton and you can punch me out, you can kill me with your bare hands, I have no respect is earned for that.
Yeah.
Because I don't care how big you are, or strong you are, or tough you are. There's an infinite number of people that would fucking own you.
Yeah.
And there's an infinite number of people that I could own as well.
Yeah.
There's plenty of 115-pound kids who I could knock out easily.
Yeah.
That doesn't make me better than them or more deserving of them. So like, I really hope in like the next 100 years, humanity has transcended the whole idea of I need to harm you physically, whether it's war or whether it's a fist fight, you know, on the street.
To assert dominance or to prove my anything, masculinity, or to prove my worth. Yeah. Your worth isn't determined by how many people you can beat up. Yeah,
it's just nonsense. So anyway,
that was a little double story time. Close out the podcast.
I'm glad you pulled one out too.
I feel like that's how it is. Your stories access deep core memories, and I'm like, whoa, I remember almost dying. Like, But yeah, that's about it. Thank you guys for hanging with us. Core memory unlocked. Exactly. Thank you guys for hanging with us on the show. Thank you to HelloFresh and BetterHelp for sponsoring this episode. Thank you guys for the continued support. And thank you everyone that like hangs out live for and listens to these episodes. Like we get to the point in the wipe where like it's kind of fun because half of the episode we were talking about YouTube and content creation and stuff like that, where it's like there's not a whole lot to talk about in Tarkov. We always talk about Tarkov, and I always put a link to it, like a timestamp to it. So if you're listening to this, you can jump right to it. But it's also cool to be able to talk about the other stuff that interests us, other games, other things, content creation in general, YouTube, and the people that choose to consume that content as well. We just appreciate it because we know that a lot of people are here for the Tarkov talk, and that's okay. But like the homies that hang out for story time or, you know, listen to us talk about YouTube and stuff like that, we just appreciate you guys. So
yeah, and we haven't actually said enough, I think, that these get recorded live on stream on my channel, twitch.tv/Veritas at 6:30 p.m. Eastern.
Yes.
Thursday nights. So if you want to come and like chill while we do it live,
vibe the live. Yeah.
You know, it's a little bit of a different vibe. You know, being able to, because a lot of times we're responding to people in chat, or we might be riffing off of things that people say.
100%. Yeah, all the time.
We're not like, you know, necessarily responding directly, obviously, because it's like a conversation between us for the most part. But
for sure.
But like, if you want to be involved, by all means, come and hang out. Obviously, it helps me out.
Yeah.
You know, to be able to have, you know, folks chilling here. So
yeah,
just figured I'd mention that.
No, that we should mention that more. We really should. But yeah, so thank you guys for hanging. This will all be live on all the platforms Monday morning. You guys are awesome, and we will definitely see y'all on the next one.
Peace.